Hello everyone, and finally welcome back to the Satisfactory Report. Some alpha news and some factory gameplay to take a look at. Over the last few weeks, the first few waves of alpha keys have been trickling out. There was the initial 200 and then another 500. And in this week's Wednesday content, Jace has revealed that they're going to try and release at least 200 alpha keys every Monday, so everyone still has a decent chance to get an alpha key. If you haven't yet signed up, you can do so on the official website, and ahead of each key release you'll get an email with a survey you can fill in. If you've already done a survey, you do not need to submit another, and you don't need to sign up on the website again if you already have. But enough about keys. Jace released some really cool footage finally showing us the factory mechanics in action. We got a demo of the power system. The biomass generator lets us generate power from leaves and more, and we've seen how that can be connected to buildings via cable, and Jay spoke a bit about how you're going to have to use power poles to split your cables as buildings can't pass onto other buildings directly. We also got a peek at the buildings menu, with categories for special, production, logistics, power and organisation. Under special there was an unknown building named The Hub. We also got to see a new iteration of the game's HUD, a few new things to note since the vehicle video. We have a much smaller and cleaner looking hotbar at the bottom, and Jace explained how, as you would expect, you can push number keys to select from there, and we have a different arrangement of hotkey icons on the bottom right. The compass up the top looks mostly the same, but we do have some new icons on there, and we've now got to see the health meter, which was hidden behind Jace's camera on the previous video. Jace showed off conveyor belt placement, showing how you can snap from one building to another, and we got to see the drill in action producing iron ore. He also demoed smelting, and we saw the interface for that. Seems you can choose between recipes, though we've only seen iron ingots, and if you give power to the smelter, it will produce those ingots from the ore. We saw a similar menu for the constructor, allowing us to choose between iron plates, iron rods and screws. And Jay showed how we could chain two constructors to produce rods from ingots and then screws from the rods in another constructor. Jace's objective in the demo was to create reinforced iron plates, which required iron plates and screws, and we saw how there were two ports on the back of the assembler, and Jace used one of those for each of the ingredients. Jace demoed how you can place splitters both by snapping them onto existing belts and just placing them on the ground, and he used that to split his iron ingots between producing rods and producing plates. We also saw some helper alignment lines appearing as Jace was placing items adjacent to each other. Jace also used some sort of pointing indicator at one point, which actually even displayed an icon in his compass. We learned a bit more about belt mechanics. Belts have to be connected at both ends to either a building or a pole, and if you place a conveyor belt on the ground, it will just add a pole at the end. The conveyor belts themselves just seem to use iron plates, but the poles also cost cement and rods. Jace demoed how if we place the conveyor poles manually, we can even set their heights. And there was also an interesting multi-conveyor pole, which Jace used to stack up his belts. We finally got confirmation of the storage containers. Jace demoed how we can store multiple item types in one container by using a merger. And we also saw storage containers being stacked directly on top of each other. So, good morning CPU.
Good morning, how's everybody doing?
I for one am doing pretty good, and I have to say, this is the video I'm definitely the most excited about so far.
It was very, very meaty.
Yeah, I think we've all been waiting a long time to really see the factory mechanics in action. I mean, obviously we saw a lot in the E3 trailer, but this is a whole different story, seeing actual live gameplay of it.
That's the point. I mean, we did see stuff, but they were very disjointed and we didn't have any context for them. Now we have a straight line, a progression from the mining to the building to the manufacturing and then converting manufactured items into new items. Yeah?
Yeah. I was just really intrigued to see that he's done quite a detailed little demo there showing us from start to finish how you would make the reinforced iron plates.
Yep, it is an item they like to discuss about, isn't it? The demo was very, very self-contained.
It was.
All the items being manufactured were basically on rails. I've no clue how they are basically tying together. Like the smelter was producing the one thing needed for the demo, and the manufacturer was building the two things needed for the demo, and so on. Three, actually, were the plates, the rods, and the screws.
Yeah, Jace did say with the smelter that you can absolutely do more things with it.
Yeah, which is exactly the point. How? What else is there to make?
I mean, there are definitely things we know that people can make. It's been unconfirmed whether or not it's all done in that one building. We've already seen that there's some sort of wiring from the conveyor belt video.
Yeah, so there must be more things. I mean, yeah, there must be copper, there must be some steel, essentially. There must be some more things. What are they going to be? And how do you reveal them in the smelter? You build a smelter, you build an iron smelter? Is that the point then?
I think the very fact that there's recipes, you know, there's selections in that smelter, albeit there was only one option there, definitely means you can do multiple different things in the smelter.
But again, it's how do you reveal that? How do you equip the smelter with multiple recipes? Are the recipes physical items that you drop into them?
Yeah. What else do we have that we can nerd out about there? I think in the constructor, he did use all the recipes that were visible, didn't he?
Yes, it was, as I said, extremely self-contained.
Yeah.
From iron to iron bars, from iron bars to plates, rods and screws, and then those, because you need the rods to make the screws, and then the plates and the screws make the reinforced plate. So it was exactly what he needed.
I did notice there was an interesting item in his inventory.
Yes, and a picture of a face. I don't know what that is.
I'm pretty sure that was Simon.
We can build Simons.
I suppose the video was delayed a day. Maybe that's why.
No, or maybe it is, you know, it's been confirmed we can overclock the buildings. Or maybe by putting Simons in the buildings, they are underclocked.
Yeah, put Simons in to make the buildings go slower.
Yes.
We did see the lizard doggo.
Very, very briefly, yes.
You can pet it.
Apparently.
Yeah.
But mischance, we didn't get to see it.
Yeah. It backed off from him. Obviously, it doesn't like Jace.
And there are some other items that I don't think I recognize. I mean, the items in his inventory are a chainsaw, a rebar gun, then some kind of, the Simons. Then we have a graty thing. I don't know, that looks like a tool belt or something.
So there's definitely quite a few things we already know about.
Hose, is that a hose at the end?
We've obviously seen the copper wire, haven't we? Then we got some sort of rocks there.
Rocks, yeah, I mean, we've seen him picking up rocks.
Rocks or ore or something.
Then some bags after the rocks. But one thing I don't get is what is that thing at the top right?
Yeah, I don't actually have a clue what that is.
I don't have a clue what those two, both
the
those
two top
items
right
are.
ones?
Yeah, they don't offer me any clue.
A box of something and some sort of...
Yeah.
I don't know what the thing on the right is. It's even hard to tell what scale it is.
Yeah, exactly. Is it same scale? Is it different scales? I mean, the chainsaw is much smaller in the icon, but that makes sense because it has to fit in the box of the inventory.
So, actually on this particular frame, there's some other stuff to look at, I suppose. We've got on the left some info about the biomass burner.
Yep.
No valid manufacturer or extractor. Seems an odd message. Is that just saying it's not been connected to anything?
I have to say so.
Because that seems oddly specific, doesn't it? Or are we saying the only things we can power in the game are manufacturers and extractors? I suppose you could call the drill an extractor.
But why say that and not just say something connected?
Yeah.
And why is it over the needs fuel? And what is the graph? And what is the log?
Huh, yeah. And it looks like we've got some indicators for some sort of statistics on the left there.
Well, megawatt and seconds, yeah.
Yeah, so power and something time related.
The only thing making sense really is rates.
Rate of what?
How much it's producing per second, I don't know. So we can have multiple buildings. You know, this biomass generator can make 100 megawatts every second, but something else can make 1 gigawatt every 10 seconds. Here's another good point. How long do leaves normally last for? How long do we have to go around chasing for leaves to put in there?
Yeah.
And he did say we can put other stuff in there too. So what is
He did, yeah. Lizard doggo flesh, obviously.
No, never.
When he sets up the smelter, we get another interface there, which is quite similar. Quite a lot of numbers to work with on here. So this actually does tell us a bit about how quickly things are going to run. 1 iron ore, 30 per minute. So I guess it's saying it takes 1 iron ore to do the recipe. it will do the recipe 30 times per minute.
Yep.
And then on the right we've got the output, which looks very similar, 1 iron ingot, 30 per minute. And then we've got those same 2 statistics at the bottom, except we got some numbers this time.
4 megawatts every 2 seconds. So it is rate. So you can actually take into account all of that and figure out exactly how much is being made.
I also like the text on the side of the smelter itself. Like smelter in Leet speak.
Oh, right. I hadn't noticed that.
What panels do we actually see in that building menu? Under special, I pointed out we have the hub.
The hub. What's the hub?
We definitely don't see it in the video.
Nope.
It's a thing. That should be good enough for us.
Well, no, it's not. I will go and see what if I can find anything.
Yeah. In the splitter merger video they did, there were many sort of variations on them. Here we seem to only see one behaviour. They just seem to just split stuff evenly.
We didn't actually see him access the splitters at any point to see them.
Yeah, he didn't access a menu for them like he does the other buildings. So I suppose there might be settings on there that let you change it between different modes.
Yeah. Or creating filters, because that was certainly something that we did see in the splitter video. The splitters are capable of filtering stuff through, I do believe.
Yeah, exactly. That section there is called sorting, which implies we'd be able to do some sorting with it. At the moment, we can't actually sort with those 2 items the way he uses them. We can just move things around.
Sure, yes. As I said, we need to open a menu to actually create some sorting, some filtering.
Jace did definitely confirm when we were talking about the number of buildings in the game. He said that number he gave us, it was a really low number, but he said that's the number of unique buildings. I think it was 20 something. And he went on to say that some buildings such as conveyor belts have various different types. He wasn't counting those as unique. So there's multiple types of conveyor belts, and we saw those in the conveyor belt video.
Yeah.
There was the different speeds, and he confirmed that wasn't overclocking. That was different conveyor belts. So I suppose the other option with the splitters and mergers is there might be different varieties.
And we see him placing belts, and that really is awesome.
He's got those various poles, which I thought were cool.
Yep. Stacking, as we had seen in the trailers, in the video.
Having seen these various poles and the multi-pole conveyor pole thingamabobs, I've looked back at the original trailer. We talked a lot about this thing you see. In fact, I think it's not the trailer, it's one of the screenshots from the website. You see this spiral construction that we spoke about quite a bit. To me, that looks like it's not actually a individual construction, it's belts between these 3 conveyor poles. Gonna say, you can see quite easily just from him messing around towards the end with routing things to those chests. Quite quickly the spaghetti is going to become challenging to manage, and you can see he's really had to use these multi-poles just to get the conveyor belts over each other.
Yeah, which is awesome. I like spaghetti.
Yeah, me too. And I think it actually makes it a bit of a challenge. It would certainly be a lot easier if we could do the Factorio equivalent of just, make an underground belt. The belts will magically vanish and appear at the other end.
Yes, and then braiding. Jesus, I hate braiding.
Braiding? Which one's braiding?
The one where you have yellow underground and then red underground and then blue underground all in the same line.
Yes. Oh god, that must be a nightmare.
The belts are very nice to place. You just select the entry point, select the end point, and then they connect together.
Yeah, it seems intuitive, and he doesn't seem to have much problem placing them.
Yeah.
He also spoke about dismantling stuff, and I'm pretty sure looking at when he dismantles stuff and the resources he gets, it looks like you get everything back. So it looks like they're not going to punish you for deconstructing and building again.
You would have to. If they punished you for deconstructing, it would have been a dead game right now.
You think?
Yes.
I mean, tons of games with creative building don't give you 100% of the resources back when you destroy things.
And that's why I don't play them.
I suppose because so far they have said they don't have a blueprint system or anything like that. We haven't seen any way you can sort of plan your placements before you place them.
Yes.
So I guess if that's the case, it would be pretty awful if you got punished for destroying. But yeah, that brings me on to another thing. which is the HUD. It's changed quite a bit since we last saw it in the vehicle video.
To the better.
Yeah, definitely. Bottom right there, we've got those hotkey things.
Yep.
And I can't remember what we had before. We had a construct icon, a build icon, a flashlight the same. I'm pretty sure we had that message icon there and the chest-looking inventory icon. But we also had a couple of other things. We had a weird icon that was like a flower with a magnifying glass, and that's gone.
Yeah, that's the one I theorized is the scanner, basically.
Instead of that, we've got like a Wi-Fi symbol.
That's the Wi-Fi. What? You need Wi-Fi. That's the hub. The hub is the source of your Wi-Fi.
Yeah, it's just the... It's just a Wi-Fi hub.
Yes.
And before Chase was saying, I'm pretty sure he was trolling, but he said that the message icon was email.
Yes, it's email. Yes.
So we've got our Wi-Fi, we've got our email.
Exactly. I need my email.
I guess that would explain those mysterious aerial buildings we were seeing before. They're range extenders for the hub.
Yes, exactly. There you go.
Yeah.
See, now you're thinking.
Now you're thinking with bullshit. Hotbar, not really much to say about that. It seems to work exactly like you would expect. He talks about assigning things to numbers.
Yes, and the bar is much improved.
I'm not sure if it's a video artifact, but it looks to me like the last blip on his hotbar is slightly diminished. Like it's a bit off the top of it. Because kind of that icon structure makes you think, this is going to be like Zelda Hearts or something, where you lose individual blips or half blips at a time.
Mm-hmm.
But then, if he's losing a tiny piece of it, maybe it's actually a much more finite health bar.
Well, they are 10, so that could be 10% each. And then each of those has 1% to knock off.
Oh yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah.
The thing that puzzles me in this that I don't really know, on the compass we've got new icons that we've not seen before.
I kept wanting to mention those for the past hour. What are those icons? Are there other people in the same map doing alpha in the studio?
Oh yeah, they could be other players, couldn't they? I
Yeah.
suppose it does look like an engineer. Are they teasing multiplayer?
I do believe they have multiplayer in the office, yes. So yeah, overall, good video, a nice little of mechanics that I know I'm gonna be spending a lot of hours going through all of it.
Yeah. Oh, one thing I don't think we mentioned is he stacks the storage containers.
Ooh, yes. That was nice.
So does that mean we can stack everything?
I do,
Or is it just
yes.
going to be blocky things like the container?
No, everything.
Because he only shows it with the container. I would love... I doubt those mining drills are
There is
stackable.
well, yeah, okay. Mining drills, no, it doesn't make any sense to stack those.
Yeah.
But for everything else, especially with the multiple levels of the belt that can go into the multi-pole thingy, why not?
Yeah, with the multi-poles, yeah. I would certainly love that.
Yes.
To play devil's advocate, though, there are some bits that protrude above the top of the constructor, the status light and the power thing.
Those are on the side. No, it's fine.
Oh, so you're saying that it would just go around those?
Yes.
Smelters certainly don't look stackable, and I guess that wouldn't
Yeah.
make sense as they've got a big chimney on the top.
Yeah.
So it would be interesting if, like, the buildings that could make sense to stack and anything else can't. So drills, smelters, those obviously need to be either the highest or lowest thing in a stack. So what about stacking different buildings on top of each other? If we're saying that both the constructor and the chest can be stacked, can you put a chest on top of a constructor?
No, that's no. I like the idea of things being like Lego blocks, but each Lego block is its own Lego block. So you can only stack something on top of itself. Because
Or maybe stack very similar things on top of each other.
well, yeah, sure. I mean, we have seen only very few buildings right now, but why not? Awesome, great.
Yeah, I have to say I'm looking forward to whatever else they want to tease to us with these videos. Because I was getting sad not having anything to analyse the last month or so.
Well, it is the nature of the game, okay? Yeah, it is in alpha state.
Yes, I've really loved this video. It's good. It's, as you said at the start, very meaty.
Yes, that was one of the best videos for a very long time.
Yeah, I think probably the best one yet.
Yep. He did say on Twitter, 21,000 views already.
Yeah, that's a lot of views. Now let's see if we can get that many as well.